Welcome to the second part of the video, lesson Thomas Alva addition. That first we are going to start passage given on page number 81. Then afterward I will explain it. So listen it carefully. In March 1878, he began to work on an electric lamp. Now he started to work on electric lamp, means electric bulb. People used candles and oil lamp in those days as they did not have electric lights. Edison promised to give them, means American people, electric light in 2 years. When he said this, all the scientists laughed at him. They said that it was impossible. But Edison was not worried at all about it. He worked harder and harder. He performed 1,000 experiments, but all of them failed. But he did not give up. Means leave hope. I must keep my promise to the people, he said to himself, and worked harder still. He was racing against time. At last he succeeded in making an electric bulb after a nearly 1,200 experiments. That was a grand success, but not within 2 and 3 experiments. Edison did 1,200 means 1,200 experiments, and afterward he got success. So if you want to get success in life, so you must work hard behind whatever your goal and achievement and target what you want to achieve. On New Year's Eve, when the bulb was displayed, on New Year's Eve in 1880, he and his workers put up electric lights at the laboratory. Electric lights means electric lamp or bulb at his laboratory where they were doing the work. People from all over America came to see that grand sight. Edison kept his promise to the people on 4th September. Remember the date and year, 4th September 1882. For the first time, people of New York saw shining and brightness of electric lights. So here, I am going to explain the same passage. In March 1878, he invented gramophone. Now in the same year, in March 1878, he started to do another experiment, and that was he worked on electric lamp or bulb. People used candles and oil lamp in those olden days. They did not have any electric lights or lamp or bulb. Edison promised all American people to give electric bulb or light in 2 years, means up to 1880. When he said this, when he declared that one, all the scientists laughed at him and they just made fun of him. And they all said that was impossible for Thomas Alva Edison. But Edison was not worried at all. Or he worked harder and harder. He performed 1,000 experiments, but all of them failed. He performed 1,000 experiments, lots of experiments, but all the experiment was totally failed. But he did not give up, but he did not leave his hope. He was a very hopeful person. He was a very positive person. He believed in determination. So he determined to perform his duties. So I must keep my promise. And he said to himself, I must keep my promise to the people, he said to himself, and worked harder and harder still, means continually. He was racing against time, means he was racing against time without taking care of his nights, days, lunch, breakfast. He was continuously doing his job. At last he succeeded in making an electric bulb after nearly 1,200 experiments. After 1,200 experiments, he got the success. And on New Year's Day in 1880, so exactly after 2 years, 1880, he had his worker put up, his hang electric lamp at their laboratory, put up even show or hang or show. People from all over America came to see that grand sight, that beautiful, majestic sight. Edison kept his promise to the people. On the 4th September 1882, for the first time, people of New York saw shining and brightness of electric lamp. This kind of electric lamp we are having in our homes. So as and when you now switch on, turn on the lamp today, you have to remember who invented that, Thomas Alva Edison. Now next passage. Edison served his country. During the First World War, the time of First World War is given 1914 to 1918. He made 40 wartime inventions. Don't pronounce war, it's called WR, war. He made 40 wartime inventions and was awarded a medal for his service. When the First World War was going on, 1914 to 1918, at that time he helped his country by inventing lots of good weapons. Not atomic bomb who destroy the other countries, but weapons to support his country for the welfare of human beings. In 1929, the silver jubilee of his invention of electric bulb was celebrated in a grand manner. This president of United States welcomed him and honored him at the big function. Edison got up and functioned to say thank to the president, but suddenly he felt ill. His illness became worse and worse. He died on Sunday morning, 18th October 1931. So, explanation of this passage. Edison served his country during the First World War, and the time is given 1914 to 1918, and he made a 4040 wartime inventions, weapons to support his country. In 1929, the Silver Jubilee was celebrated by the country in a grand manner. So he was invited by the President of America because he wanted to honor or award, to give the award to Thomas Alva Edison. That's why he invited Thomas Alva Edison at bigger function. Edison got up at the same time when function was going on. So Edison got up to say thanks to all this American. At the same time, what happened? Suddenly he felt ill. And his illness became worse and worse. And he died on Sunday morning, 18 October 1931. Now, last passage of this lesson. Thus was the end of the great eventful life of man who enriched. That is given, enrich means made richer, means prosperous. Human life happiness. He said once, I would never invent anything which will destroy life. That was the superb statement given by one of the scientists. Nowadays the scientist is inventing destructive weapons. So he invented weapons that he always support his country, not to destroy human being. Can he promise himself? What was the promise? I would never invent anything which will destroy life, means human life. I want to make people happy. He want to make people happy. He also said the world has been in darkness so long or too long. I would like to give to the world more laughter and more light. He kept his word and he stick to the promise. And he invented gramophone, and gramophone brought us more laughter, and electric light give us more light. We all are and remain indebted. Yes, we are grateful, thankful to this great scientist. The world still needs more scientists who may bring happiness, comfort, prosperity, and security to the people. The inventions of scientists should be for the welfare of the human people and not for the destruction. So what is the explanation? I'm going to explain this last passage, number 81. Thus, that's what the end of one eventful life that was full of event, full of incident, full of, we can say, encouragement. And on 18th October 1931, when Edison got died, means at the same time, whatever the great scientist of our world, the life was totally concluded. And that was the person who made richer, who made our human beings life prosperous. He said himself that whatever he want to make, he made only the things or weapons or invent something which will always help human life, which will not disturb human life. So he was a person, he was a scientist who always think about human beings' welfare. He want to make the people happy. So that's why he just invented gramophone to give more laughter and electric bulb to give us more light. And we are and shall be always grateful to this great scientist. And nowadays we require a scientist that gives us happiness, comfort, prosperity and security to the people of each and every nation. So scientists, the invention of scientists should be for the welfare of the people and not for the destruction. So I hope you can understand the lesson.